Hello guys, it is the 8th of September of 2019 and we're bringing you this week's Dissenter news with the top discussions and comments of Dissenter news. And let's start with this first one here from the Gateway Pundit. 61-year-old homeowner kills 2 of 4 armed home invaders with AR-15, one wearing a Jason mask. It includes video. This should be fun. As always, after we read the article, we're going to go through the comments section and see what the dissenters really think, the news you're not getting. This is an absolutely horrific story. A 61-year-old Florida man shot and killed 2 of 4 intruders during a home invasion robbery in Summerfield in July. Local court records show 2 of the 4 suspects have criminal records. Hamilton was found guilty in 2018 and served time for grand theft. So, the armed intruders broke into his home late at night in July. The homeowner was using an AR-15 during the incident. One of the intruders wearing a Jason mask over his head. So, let's open up the video. Hospital. Holy damn. Wow. All right. Wow. Alright, so the homeowner was armed with an AR-15, killed 2 of the people trying to rob him. Doyle was with a gunshot wound and a shotgun next to him on the ground. My goodness, holy hell. So, 2 other robbery suspects that were not killed were detained near the scene. Doyle, one of them. Oh, these are the 2 others. Nigel Doyle and Keith Jackson were both killed. The homeowner, whose name was not released, thank God, was in stable condition at the hospital Thursday afternoon. Rodriguez was arrested on charges of murder and home invasion, robbery with a firearm. Hamilton faces home invasion robbery with a firearm. Both men were being held in the Marion County Jail without bond. Deputies got the call at 8:21 p.m. Wednesday and went to the home. Wish I could redact that. Not going to. In response to a report of shots fired, Sergeant Micah Moore found Doyle with a gunshot wound and a shotgun next to him on the ground. Oh, he had a shotgun. Fascinating. Sure, this guy was an upstanding individual. Deputies entered the home and found Jackson dead on the dining room floor. Detectives said he was wearing a Jason mask on top of his head, gloves on both hands, jeans, and a black shirt. Near Jackson's head was a semi-automatic pistol, detectives say. Alright, let's go to the comments. From Pepper. This is why elites hate guns so much. A 61-year-old man can take on 4 young men. I'm thinking he could have held off 10 more. Maybe. RJ, unfit to be a slave, says, and they say we don't need an AR-15. Amen. General Robert E. Lee, spicy, says, didn't the worthless rag salon just recently post an article about the myth of a good guy with a gun? Good riddance to 2 Democrats. Well said. And Del1, this video is absolutely frightening. Why is it frightening? That an elderly man defended himself and his home and killed 2 of the 4 attackers? What am I missing? Ursus Americanus, is this a commercial for AR-15s? Ken H, 50-50, not bad shooting. As you can tell, the people of Dissenter, the people of the internet that you are not allowed to speak to, are not very moved by this story. They have no sympathy for the people causing violence to people who are just living their lives. So let's go to over here. Google bans Family Cafe for offensive content. For posting photo of British dish, faggots and peas. Oh, you're kidding. Hang on. Alright. Let's actually read what the hell this is. Google bans Family Cafe for offensive content for posting photo of British dish, faggots and peas. Now, I'm going to say before we continue on through the article, I believe this bullshit. Not only because it's common, but because apparently Facebook and Google like to outsource their reporting features to overseas individuals who have nothing to do with the cultures in question. For example, someone in India with the list of forbidden words essentially has the right to go through social media and determine through these arbitrary indicators like the word faggot whether or not something is offensive and needs to be taken down, and they're paid rather blindly to do this job. So, let's read on. Google told the owner of an award-winning UK cafe called Fanny's Rest Stop that she was promoting, quote, inappropriate and offensive content after she was trying to advertise her business by promoting a meal of faggots and peas on the platform. Joe Evans Pring, 63, turned to her friend Chris Barnbrook for help setting up her online presence to promote her business. The advertising was going well for her until Google began to reject her advert. I'm a complete technophobe, she told the Daily Mail, so I asked Chris to take care of posting stuff on the internet for me. We set up a website and a Facebook page that attracts the locals to the cafe. Fanny's has been doing really well because of the internet campaign. We noticed a big change in the past couple of weeks. People have been coming in a little further afield because we're paying for adverts when they Google for places to eat. Smart. No reason not to. I posted an advert on the website for Fanny's Faggots with Peas and Onion Gravy, a pretty traditional meal and one of my favorites, on the 27th. But then, Evans Pring received an email from Google the day after the new advert went live, telling her that her advert had been removed. Recently, a post was removed from your business profile, the email said. I get these notices a lot. I'm a fan. I frequently get these notices. A post was removed. Oof. This is a moment of nostalgia and bonding between me and Evans Pring. But let's continue. To help ensure your posts create a positive experience for users, please review our content policy. Me and Chris had a look and realized they moved the faggots one, and we couldn't think it was for any reason other than having the word faggots in it. Yeah, yeah, that'll do it. That will do it. All right, here's the juicy part. Faggots is a traditional British dish, which I, as an ugly American, would have no idea what it is, and has long been popular in the Midlands of England, as well as in the Mid and South Wales. It's made from minced cut-offs and offal that is often served with gravy and peas. It is made from minced cut-offs, so I'm assuming it's meat. Would that be right, guys? If any British people are in here, please provide more insight on this dish. I'm getting nothing. But the word faggot was likely misunderstood by Google's algorithms, and Google probably thinks it's referring to the pejorative. Well, clearly. Google, Google content policy states published content cannot promote hatred or incite violence against individuals, groups based on ethnic origin, religion, disability, gender, age, veteran status, sexual orientation, or gender identity. Content cannot be used to harass or bully individuals, including direct physical threats or exposing private information that could be used to carry out implied threats. Okay, here's the thing. She was promoting food using a traditional name that is local to that population who understands that this has nothing to do with hurting the gays. Oh my goodness. She says that she's absolutely startled by what happens, and the world's totally gone mad if people are getting worked up over that. Yes, people are going mad. This is absolutely true. We thought it might be over for the word faggots, which we felt was a bit ironic, as the cafe anyway is named Fanny's. The term fanny is British slang for referring to female genitals. Oof. Clearly, Google is using its American prejudice to punish their British traditional cuisine. Google needs to check its fucking privilege. But we're just asking, what's the world coming to? You're in clown world, so don't be surprised. Let's go to the comments, though. Da da da. Flubber blam. Google is bigoted against the British, apparently. Yes. Apul Majid Aoud. What are you doing on Dissenter? You must get picked on relentlessly. Shit, man. Alright. How about faggots and their pee? Would that be woke, tolerant, and acceptable? Uh-oh. Faggots and peas now needs a new march. We have a new theme, guys. Faggots and pee. Pride March. Make it happen. Cornelius Sulla. People have to be niggardly with their vocabulary to please the leftists. If you don't get that joke, I'm not explaining it. Grumble Sock 2. These minor linguistic regional furrows are of a sort I find interesting. Here, for example, Fanny, as in diner, is uncensored. Here in the UK is slang for vulva or insult for Corbyn, and arse or ass in the US. So why get all bothered by faggot in a UK-based article? Again, Google hates the British people. They don't like the British identity. We're having Brexit go through. They're clearly globalist sycophants. This is just clear, blatant, open prejudice against Britons. But I digress. If we start considering regional variations and euphemisms unacceptable, we'll have no language left. Well, yes, that's why it's bad to outsource shit to people not within the culture from which this content is coming from. But I'm against censoring it all, so there's that. We could just save a whole lot of money. Facebook and Google can fire all the people looking at this shit, and not spend so much money on making programs that are ultimately unnecessary for the public. Because we don't need censorship. It's an unnecessary tyrannical comfort for tyrants. But the comment continues. Honestly, though these faggots really ought to be confined to the UK and off the web. They are utterly vile, slimy things, especially the brains variety. Oof. Yes. I like the spice right at the end, sir. That nice kick in the end. I didn't know that the British were so homophobic to do cannibalism. Oof. Nice. Ah, yes. Bear Volmer says, I thought the left were fag pride. I guess not, unless you're deemed a Trump supporter, then it's called hate speech. Well, the left isn't incredibly known for its consistency now, are they? Let's go to the next article. We are fighting back. Antifa tried to shut us down. I think this is the Mines event, which means it's probably a Tim Pool video, but hey, why not?
It's time to fight back. To stop sitting around complaining about everything and actually do.
Holy shit, you've pissed off Tim Pool. Motherfuckers, you've finally done it. You've finally pissed off the man in the beanie. I don't know if you people have been paying attention, but the last time this happened, it was against Jack Dorsey, who got raped in front of his legal assistant. But let's continue.
Do something about the insanity that is partaking in our streets with the rise of the far left and Antifa. This video is going to be about pending legal action, and as such, I will make this disclaimer. Everything you're about to hear from me is my personal opinion and interpretation of events that happened around the Mines IRL event. I may very well be wrong, but to the best of my ability, these events are true as I describe them, at least based on my personal interpretation of what I experienced.
Antifa, you're fucked. You're completely and totally fucked. You've pissed off the man in the beanie. He's giving legal disclaimers. You're gonna get your asses reamed. But let's continue. I'm gonna play this whole video just because I'm gonna be laughing the whole damn time.
You'll notice this page. Mines IRL, Myth Informed, and the Broadway Theater of Pittman. I'll give you a really quick bit of context. An event was planned by the guys from Myth Informed. The contract was signed in March. The speakers were publicly available, and the theater said, you're good to go. In fact, only a few months before the contract was signed, Ann Coulter spoke at the theater. However, something happened just about 2 weeks before the event was supposed to take place. You may be familiar with the event. I've talked about it quite a bit. Daryl Davis spoke there. He was the headlining speaker. He is a man who de-radicalized over 200 Klan members and one of the most prominent anti-racists in the world. I'm truly inspired that he spoke at this event. Now, I was a sponsor of this event, and the event was to take place in my area, in New Jersey, near the Theater of Pittman. This is why the theater was chosen. About 2 weeks before the event was supposed to take place, a bunch of far-left activists, including known Antifa groups, started a harassment campaign. There were veiled threats, and very awful things were said. Initially, the theater defended the event, and even publicly so, is my understanding. But for some reason, at the last minute, canceled. And I'll read the breakdown. I'll tell you the gist of this video. There's going to be a lawsuit against the theater because they bent the knee to the far left and Antifa lies. We cannot live in a society where people can make a phone call randomly and make some ridiculous claim with no evidence, and then a theater will break a contract that was standing for 5 months completely unlawfully. There was no grounds for breaching the contract. It caused untold damages to the events, and although the event went off and we made it work, I want to be careful about saying we, because I have no legal standing here, okay? I was just a sponsor. So to an extent, I kind of do. The contract holder is Myth Informed, and they're the ones leading this charge. The ultimate goal of this video, it is a call to fundraising to push back and tell businesses, when you have a contract and agree to do something, and you bend the knee to fringe far-left terrorist groups, you are responsible. Now look, I understand. There are people to go after for defamation, but the theater overreacted and caused damages. We need to make sure that businesses uphold their contracts and their agreements and don't bend the knee in the face of extremist liars over a fringe internet campaign. But let me make this very, very clear. I'll read through this, maybe a little long. I'll try to keep the video short. Take a look at this photo. This is from the G20. No G20, spare our store. And there's the Antifa flag right there. You can see it. How about this photo? You see this destroyed business? The window's smashed out. What's next to it? Oh, this window's fine. That's an Antifa flag. How about this photo? This business appears to be fine as well, and they've got G20 and it's slashed right through. This is how these people are forced to live. This is how businesses have to operate. Because they bend the knee and they say, oh, please don't hurt us. We'll fly your flag and cower in fear. No. The only way this stops is when we make the businesses stand up and uphold their contracts. The Broadway Theater of Pittman had no right to cancel the contract on the Minds IRL event. So let's read this. Let's read the story here. Let me zoom in. If you want to join in and help sue the theater who canceled the contract, and it was a lot of money, trust me. The original theater had 1,000 seats. The new venue only had 500, which means because of the actions of this theater, critical promotions and marketing and everything was shuttered. And admittedly, we weren't completely sure as to what was going to happen. We did have backups, we had plans, but their actions, in my personal opinion, caused all of this. Now I get it. The far left does what the far left does. Here's the thing. Ann Coulter showed up, had an event. They were protesters. Theater said fine. Apparently, I was told, the theater told the organizers don't worry about protests. But for some reason, Antifa making these phone calls, they said, you got it, we'll back you up. I was also told, and this could be wrong, but I was told by numerous people, they even tried to get the VIP reception shut down. Again, that could be wrong, but several people in the town told me that. Why they were so malicious and why they were working so hard to protect this fringe group of lunatics on the left who were lying, I have no idea. But they're on the hook. They breached a contract, and a message needs to be sent. You cannot bend the knee to Antifa. You can't do it. I refuse to live in a world where I've got to plaster my windows with the flag of the far left extremists begging them, please. No. When you do that, you must...
Holy shit, these people think they're Jesus. Paint your doorstops with the blood of the lamb so that the angel of death will pass over you. Holy fuck. If you don't fly our flag, we'll assault your business. Jesus.
Take responsibility. If they want to fly the flag and support the actions of Antifa in shutting our event down, then they're responsible as far as I'm concerned because they were the contract holders. But let's see how Myth Informed puts it. They say, in August 2019, the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey was supposed to be the location for a one-day conference aimed at ending racism, violence, and authoritarianism, sponsored by Minds, an emerging social media networking site, and organized by the volunteer-run nonprofit organization Myth Informed. The conference was to feature good faith socio-political discussions between people of wide-ranging perspectives. Headlining the event was Daryl Davis, a de-radicalization expert who has personally de-radicalized more than 200 Klan members by forging a connection through dialogue. And I want to stress this point right here. If you want to get involved and help fight back, we are Myth Informed is fundraising for legal action against the theater. In my opinion, I'm being very careful, a message must be sent. If you bend the knee to Antifa, you are working with them. Daryl Davis is not far right. He is not a fascist, nor are any of the speakers at this event. And they decided to side with Antifa. Okay, then so be it. You've made your bed and you will lay in it. Personally, I think this is the right thing to do, and I will be making a contribution as well. Again, I'm not a contract holder. This is Myth Informed, and I believe Minds. Let's read.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Let's go. Let's read through the comments now. I think we've learned enough here, and I will be posting this link as well in the description if you would like to support mythinformed.org/support. That link will be in the description of this video as well, so you can send money to them and take it to the left, take it to the businesses for standing up to leftist bullying tactics. He's right. They had a contract, and they capitulated, and it should cost them many, 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 many dollars. However much, I hope that that Myth Informed takes them to the bank and drains them dry. I would have no problem if Myth Informed used this lawsuit to make this theater close their doors. That is how I feel about this. This theater should be shitting themselves that they have done this, because right now the right and the centrists, because people who were on the right are now moving further towards the center. They need to be more afraid of us than the fringe left. So let's go through the comments and see what is saying. Shinfil, Tim should fight back. Problem is, he'll still vote Democrat. I'm not sure about that. I am not sure about this claim at all. Tim Pool has a good head on his shoulders. He knows where his interests lie. Groundskeeper Willie, fight back, vote Trump. Yeah, that is what happened. Simon, this is an interesting one. Tim, you are wrong. If the theater claim in their defense that Antifa is de facto law now, and the rule of law is dead, they would be right. A reasonable judge at first instance would throw the fuck out of your lawsuit because precedent has been set that Antifa can go threatening and assaulting people with no consequence. You are targeting the wrong people. The business is only reacting to its environment. Your opening video already showed the evidence. Antifa can commit criminal damage without consequence to businesses who don't support them. A reasonable judge will throw out your suit. By supporting the Democrats, you are supporting the breakdown of law. You cannot expect anyone to abide by their contracts in this environment. You see, now, by supporting the Democrats, I'm not sure if Tim Pool is, at this time, supporting Democrats. I don't think he's that dumb. I think he sees he's the one reporting on this. He's the one bringing us the news. He's the one who's constantly kicking the left and, by relation, the Democrats in the teeth. You're a Democrat, Tim, so fuck you. You enable these people with your vote. God damn, guys. Jeez. Ulilani, if the government does not stop these terrorists, the Proud Boys will have to. Uhuru, motherfucker. Uhuru. Uhuru to that. Paul Zuck, sorry Tim, but I cannot help you. I won't call the police, though, like you did. I just got to buy a second pair of ZMF Verite. Effin' liberalists, pay your own bills. What does this shit even mean? I won't call the police, though, like you did. I just got to buy a second pair. Pay your own bills. What the fuck does this even mean? Okay, we're gonna finish the video, because apparently there might be information we missed. So, up we go.
On. Despite the positive mission of the conference, a group of protesters calling themselves No Hate NJ apparently was formed just at the last minute to go after the event, which includes some other groups, I'm not going to read their names, but the Democratic Socialists, along with other anti-fascist activists, and yes, Hub City Antifa, began a campaign of social media dissension with the aim of shutting down the event. The group opposed the conference and encouraged followers to make contact with the Broadway Theater, encouraging them to shut down the event. I will stress, the VIP reception held in Pittman defended the event, and it went off without a hitch. No problems. Protesters showed up, nothing happened. Everybody had a good time. Drinks were had, laughs were had. People of all walks of life were there. All walks of life were there. And for some reason, Antifa called Daryl Davis a white supremacist. I have no idea why. They say, just 12 days prior to the event, as intimidation from these anonymous thugs continued, organizers received an email from the theater notifying them of their intent to renege on their contract. However, activists claimed the theater defended the event, and this may have actually antagonized them. The theater, the activists put out an email where they say it came from the theater, and the theater said that because the event was legal and diverse and inclusive, they would protect it. But for some reason, after all that, the theater backed out of the contract. They say, this left organizers with just days to find a new venue. This was a monumental task. Event organizers were all volunteers from out of state, several individuals using their paid time off just to travel to New Jersey at the last minute to hunt for a new venue. 400 tickets were already sold, and they had to find a new venue with 400 people. However, during this time, ticket sales and promotions had to be cut off, a critical time for sales. Several speakers dropped out of the event at this time, some with non-refundable travel costs, causing volunteer organizers to rally and find replacements and book additional costly last-minute travel arrangements. Despite our commitment to continue to host the event, incorrect reports the event was canceled spread online, partly because the theater gave a statement to the press. Some event ticket holders requested refunds due to concerns the event wouldn't take place at all. And that stemmed from the theater giving a statement to the press. Finally, 6 days prior to the conference date, a new venue was secured in Philadelphia. Transit costs between the new venue, hotels, and after-party locations were higher and more of a logistical challenge as a result. They say, overall, significant ticket sales were lost due to the destabilization of the event thanks to this unlawful contract cancellation. Our goal of raising $250,000 is twofold. It'll be used for litigation regarding the interference with, disruption, and cancellation of Minds.com conference located in New Jersey. Businesses shouldn't cave to rogue activism and should honor their contract obligations. Minds does not accept this form of cowardly censorship, and I will stress, to these businesses who put "spare our store, please," I have no respect for you. No respect for anybody who would fly the flag of their oppressors who threaten to destroy their livelihood. If you want to stand in front of my venue and tell me I can't be there anymore, I will walk right up to your group and stand and look you in the eyes and say, move. I don't care if you want to smash my windows. I don't care whatever you plan on doing. You will not stop me. And if you're a business that has a legal contract for 5 months and only at the last minute pull it because you bent the knee to these lunatics, I will be there and I will not back down. Now, as for the rest of you, I can't ask you to do this because admittedly, to quote Captain America, the price of freedom is high, but I'm certainly willing to pay it, and I will be in contributing to the legal fund. And if you want to stand and say to these businesses, if you bend the knee to these people and side with them, then we're not going to back down. The theater wanted to side with Antifa, so be it. Then they're going to have to pay the costs of the damages incurred by these organizations because they chose to side with Antifa. A message must be sent to these businesses. You cannot bend the knee to these people because I refuse to live in a society where cowards fly the flag of those who threaten to destroy them. I will never do it. Never. They say any remaining monies will be used to hold bigger and better events. These events are needed to help depolarize our culture. We want to send a message to extremists that thuggery and intimidation will only strengthen our resolve, not deplatform or weaken it. I can't tell you that you should get involved in this. I will. I will be making a substantial contribution in the legal fight. I can only say that there are a lot of challenges in front of us as it pertains to holding events and being free. The event in question, not a free speech event. I certainly believe in free speech, but that was not the intent of the event. This was left-wingers, right-wingers coming together, mostly centrist, to be honest. We know that from the data we received. Mostly centrist, to have a conversation about de-radicalization and ending racism. Daryl Davis received a standing ovation. If you are going to side with the fringe extremists who would seek to shut down that conversation, you are no better than the white supremacists themselves. A stand must be taken. Too many people have complained that no one is doing anything. Well, I'm certainly going to do something, and I ask you do the same. Make a donation. It is, I believe, according to the site, it is tax deductible. I have to be clear and careful. I can't tell you everything I'm saying is, all correct. To the best of my ability, it is. Everything I understand, as I'm saying it now, is to be true, and it's mostly my opinion and personal interpretation. Mythicists, the myth-informed guys, have put on events where they've tried doing this for years. I shouldn't say tried, but they've done this for years. And this was just the latest iteration. And the theater cost a lot of money. A lot. I don't know what the total cost will be. I just know that something needs to be said. This venue had no problem with the event. They supported it. They even defended it. At least the activists claim they were doing it. A leaked message from activists showed the theater was defending the event, calling it a diverse event. So why then at the last minute flip sides and defend Antifa and these lunatics? On my call with these people, they smeared us and defamed the speakers. I will not stand for it. So a lawsuit will happen. If you want to get behind this suit and send a message to these venues that if you bend the knee to Antifa, you are basically no better than they are, then you can do it here. mythinformed.org/support. It'll be in the description below. I don't know, man. I don't know what should or shouldn't be done. None of this money in any way goes to me or anything like that. They've explained what they're going to do with it. I'm sick and tired of the insanity. I'm sick and tired of these, of this. Look, the only reason Antifa uses these tactics is because they work. Send a message and let the businesses know it won't work anymore. I'll leave it there. Next segment will be in a couple minutes, and I'll see you all shortly.
Okay, so I have no idea what these comments are all about. It says nothing about him still supporting Democrats, says nothing about him not buying a gun. All of this is Tim Pool's basically on Antifa's side. You make your bed, you fucking lie in it. What the hell? Holy shit. These comments are insane. Guys, please, wake the fuck up. You have someone who's actually, on your side trying to do the good work and get in and actually have an effect. Dude, you need to back them. Like, seriously. Alright, next up is opinion. The end of white America is now assured. Democracy's a scam. There is oligarchy rule. Everything is done for organized interest groups. Click here for the article. Alright, World News Daily Information Clearinghouse. The end of white America is now assured. The only question is the fate of the remnants, by Paul Greg Roberts. In September 8th, 2019, that's today, Information Clearinghouse. The lack of response by white Americans to their demonetization as they decline as a percent of the population demonstrates their lack of concern with their fate. It seems the West is dead in every way. The rule of law is dead throughout the West. Democracy is a scam. There's oligarchy rule. Okay. Nothing is done for the people who can just declare. West's leading role is ending. How right he is. Alright, the Brookings Institution. William H. Fay has authored a report. Less than half of U.S. children under 15 are white. Census shows, based on recently released 2018 U.S. Census Bureau reports. The information in Frey's article is fascinating. It shows a disappearing white population. The American middle class, which is largely white, bears the brunt of income taxation, which means that white Americans bear the brunt of the cost of the welfare support systems. The white middle class also bears the brunt through property taxes of the public school systems, which, by the way, are rising in states even like Texas out of control to the point where owning a home may no longer be practical. What you have to do each year is pay the difference between what your expected your increased value is of your home, or else your mortgage skyrockets through property taxes. It's absolutely insane. Many middle-class members pay again in private school tuition for the education of their children in safer and more ordered environments. The cost of university education is exorbitant. Okay, if you're still paying university tuition fees, you're a fucking idiot. Get your kid out of college. Send them to trade. Have them do anything but become someone who is so stupid they had to go to a university to learn it. That's literally what's happening. There are some things that are so absurd only those who go to university could possibly believe them. All of these costs are rising faster than middle class incomes, and this limits white procreation. Respectfully disagree. The thing that limits white procreation is white I'm going to say white cowardice. I'm sorry, but using the economy as a tool or as an excuse for not procreating is in my mind one of the it's one of the things that we pretend is real, but it's not. Your economic status should not determine how many children you have. I mean, let's face it, no one else is living that way. Why the hell are we? Why are we limiting ourselves and how much joy and children we have based on what our income is? That's stupid. That's not human. But let's continue. The decline of people of European descent as a percentage of the U.S. population can only accelerate as the childbearing ability of the white population evaporates. Thank you, feminism. The median age of Americans of European descent is 43.6 years. The median age of Hispanics, 29.5. Multiracial residents is 20.7. Over the past 7 years, Americans of European descent experienced an excess of deaths over births. They're probably not including abortion of the black community, but also abortion is very, very popular among white middle class women. White political influence will decline more rapidly than the white percentage of the population as politicians pander to the rising majority. One wonders if the white minority will be given minority preferences. That was sarcasm, kids, for those of you who are not hip in the new lingo. All right, scrolling down to the bottom, it will be interesting. It will be interesting to see if the growing Hispanic population displaces the shrinking white population as the group against which blacks will make claims for slavery reparations. Hispanics consist in part of Spanish and Portuguese ancestry, and the Spanish and Portuguese were colonial powers in the New World who enslaved people. In a world of identity politics, will Hispanics replace white people as the victimizer? Interesting question. It will also be interesting to see if the Israel lobby can put the same ring through the nose of the rising Hispanic/Asian majority as they have through the nose of the declining white minority. Can Hispanics and Asians be made to feel guilty about the Holocaust and persecutions of Jews? Can their leaders, like white leaders, be bought into Israel's service? Or will people accustomed to the privilege of victim status themselves have the confidence to reject that they owe obligations to their victims? Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, the author, was Assistant Secretary for the Treasury of Economic Policy and Associate Editor of the Wall Street Journal. Son of a bitch. Whew. He was columnist for Business Weekly, Scripps Howard News Service, and Creator Syndicate. He has many university appointments. His internet columns have attracted a worldwide following. Robert's latest books are Failure of Laissez-Faire Capitalism and Economic Dissolution of the West, How America Was Lost, and The Neoconservative Threat to World Order. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's see the comments on this one. Comment 1, the Jews. Great. Just me, comments. That leaves only one recourse. Find all the billionaires behind this and get rid of them, taking all their property in the process. It also seems to me that fractional banking creates money out of thin air. We should pay off these debts off the same way. We are paying these people for creating fake money. Makes no sense. You're not wrong. Anna Colson Wesson Etters. I doubt that seriously. Whites are still having white babies. We do, however, need a merit-based immigration plan. Need to support traditional marriage and the nuclear family. I find these articles are like most media. They are there to craft a narrative. She's right. If you want to know who's going to breed, in the United States in particular, the primary indication is actually religion, or whether you are of faith. Those who are of the Latter-day Saint, Catholic, and Jewish categories tend to have the most children, because that's what their religion or their culture dictates that they do. Ursus Americanus again says this is he's alleging that this will be true barring a wall and a purge. Yeah. Mr. Nunn. Mr. Nunn comments normal people need to remove two assholes each, and the problem will be resolved in a week. Dissenting game developer. Whites aren't finished, but America is. How can a government be legitimate if rule of law is subverted? If you're doubting that, please see the Tim Pool video I just reviewed. There is no justice in America. Treason occurs at the highest levels of government. Billionaires abuse young girls. Murder of high-profile individuals, regardless of how blatant it is. No prosecutions, no accountability, no justice. This country is over. Yeah, I agree with you with the caveat that no one, and I mean no one at all, believes that Epstein committed suicide. Which means they're waking up and that there actually is some hope. There are faint glimmers of hope in terms of that observation. Woman at the center of Gamergate gives zero fucks about her haters. From Vox. Sure, why not? This will be our last one. Clicking on Vox.com to see what the hell they're giving us now. The woman at the center of Gamergate gives zero fucks about her haters. We don't have to be tolerant of other people's intolerance. That's bullshit, frankly. By Sean Illing. I wonder if Sean was offered a blowjob for this piece. Anyways, let's continue on. We don't have to be tolerant of other people's intolerance. Tell that to Antifa. That's Zoe Quinn, author of Crash Override, told me. For the unfamiliar, Quinn was the video game developer at the center of the 2014 Gamergate saga. Oh, yes. Yes. This is the girl who would pay sexual favors in return for gamer articles for games that she wanted to be promoted. But here it goes. In August 2014, Quinn became the victim of a sweeping online harassment campaign. Oh my gosh. Which began after her ex-boyfriend, Aaron Johnny, posted a 10,000-word manifesto online accusing her of, among other things, sleeping with a video game reviewer in exchange for a favorable review of her game. Yep, that's par for the course here. Of course, there's no evidence that Quinn traded sex for a positive game review, and in fact, the positive review she is accused of soliciting doesn't exist. The game was that shit, not even sex could fix it. But that's no matter. Like most internet mob attacks, this wasn't really about the thing it's supposed to be about. Gamergate shapeshifted into something else entirely, an online culture war about political correctness. There's no lie. Quinn, who is known for speaking out about gender inequalities in the gaming industry. Hang on. You mean a medium of fantasy in which you could be or pretend to be whatever you wish to be somehow has a problem with gender inequality. How do these people's brains work? But anyways, oh yes, it's male-dominated gaming subculture, detested or feared, whatever. Quote, if I ever see you are doing a panel at an event I'm going to, I will literally kill you, quote, end quote, said one of the early messages she received. Quote, you are lower than shit and deserve to be hurt, maimed, killed, and finally, graced with my piss on your rotting corpse 1,000 times over. Well, that's level 9,000 edge right there. I spoke to Quinn last week about why she chose to write a memoir right now, and if she's worried about exposing herself to more harassment. At this point, I'm only going to assume she gets off on it. At this point, there's... Oh my god, we also talked about Silicon Valley's bro culture. Silicon Valley's bro culture. Can you have a bro culture over soy lattes? Is that a thing? Is that really a thing? Oh my god, this is an interview. Gamergate, what really happened? writer, Zoe Quinn. Oh my god, this goes on forever. I'm not reading all of this. Guys, I'm really, really not going to read all of this. Okay, this is an interesting part. Sean, I hear that, but I wonder how do we actually do that without making the internet unfree? Should we just shut down the Twitter accounts of assholes whenever they start insulting people? She responds with yes. Yes, is her response. Sean Illing, you don't see that as stifling speech. A good counter. To which she responds, we've been down this road with spam. Spam is closer to free speech than telling someone that you're going to fucking kill them. We already had this argument back when the internet was new and people were saying the same things about spam. Here's the difference. Spam usually has the intent of selling you something you never had the intention of buying. When you go online on something like Twitter and you tweet out something or you do something that is particularly newsworthy, Twitter is literally designed to facilitate the opinions of other people to your actions, or to your newsworthy pieces, or to the tweets which you have already engaged in Twitter. Saying that we have the right to treat opinions or statements you don't like as spam is like saying all of Twitter is essentially spam if you don't like it. So, no, we have not gone down this road with spam. This is something else entirely. So, no, no, no. But there was an obvious problem. It was ruining everything for everyone else. No, sweetheart, it was ruining everything for you. And I am done with this. Done with you. Brian Ray, do I even need to read this to know Vox's take on it? No, you don't. Honestly, you don't. QB? Oh, I pronounced that right. QB. Quote, we don't have to be tolerant of other people's intolerance. That's bullshit, frankly. So, you don't believe in tolerance then. Gotcha. Yeah. Ursus Americanus? Dude, Ursus, well done. You have literally commented on every single article I have put up. Well done, sir. Top dissenter right here, Ursus Americanus. Give yourself a slap on the back, a nice pat or two. Your contributions are appreciated, sir. He comments, sorry guys, OBS cut off. We just congratulated Ursus Americanus for his comment, which he says, that's because she's a Dexter grade psychopath. And seriously, man, let's not insult Dexter with this crazy bitch, because at least Dexter allegedly only killed the guilty, the other serial killers. So let's not really shit on Dexter here. Dexter's a good boy who didn't do nothing compared to Zoe Quinn. Bad people comments that Gamergate or anti-Gamergate, which has killed more people. I didn't know the answer to that question until I read the next comment. Dissenting game developer gives our last comment of the video. Says, yes, she so obviously gives no fucks that she's desperately trying to cover her tracks. She lied, and he died. She instigated his suicide with false sexual abuse allegations. She must be prosecuted. And I could not agree more. If she lied about... Seriously, I don't know what's going on, guys, but apparently my OBS is cutting out on me. So just know that that was the last comment of the video, and it cut off that basically if she lied, she deserves to be taken out to the cleaners in court. As always, guys, have a good one. Alright, guys, real quick, if you guys like the channel, feel free to please leave a donation so we can keep the channel going. All donations go to support the channel, more equipment, better content. But if you don't want to just leave a donation, feel free to jump by Carnal's Menagerie. We sell basically t-shirts. If you have any kind of carnalism that you like want to see on a t-shirt, please go ahead and leave it in the comments and I will get that uploaded for you. But guys, this is how you support the channel. Anyways, thank you guys as always, and just remember, stay carnal. Bye guys.